Yo, what's good, YouTube? In today's video, I'm showcasing you guys my best controller settings. These are the settings I use to drop my 30, 40, and 50 plus kill gameplays every single day. As always, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, fellas, let's hop in here and break it all down for you. So first thing in here, obviously my aiming input device, I'm going to be playing on controller. So we are going to be using the controller. My edit button layout here, I'll click on this real fast and I play on tactical flipped. What this means is that I have my R3 in my circle, which is going to be flipped. I play on a PlayStation 5 controller. It has the scuff paddles on the back, aka I have 4 paddles in the back for my face buttons, my X, circle, triangle, and square. And all I've done is I've switched to tactical flip so that way I can press in my R3 when I want to do my slide canceling, which is super huge. So that's why I got it right there. Now to move on down here, I don't have my bumper ping on. My flip L2 and R2 is going to be on, so I have my shooting and my aiming for my L1 and my R1, my top 2 bumpers. I believe you can press those in faster, and I also grew up playing on like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and 4, so for me it just felt natural playing a Call of Duty title to be using the top ones, so I've just kind of stuck to that. So it's one of those things that's personal preference, not going to make a big difference, but I mean it can. So just one of those things to, you know, check out or maybe try it if you really want to. My stick layout is going to be on default. My controller vibration is on. Your trigger effect should definitely be off. There's no reason you'd ever want to have this thing on. Now we're to get on down here to your dead zones. This is actually a pretty crazy one. So my test stick dead zone, we'll be able to test this real fast. I'm turning off my face cam there for the moment to be able to show you guys that when I test it, I have ever so slight pull there on my left stick. It just wants to move a little bit, but overall I have very minimal stick drift, so I can actually afford to run a 0-0 on my left and my right stick. I will move a little bit there just because I have a tad bit of stick drift, but overall the lowest dead zone you can possibly get to without it messing you up is ultimately the way to go. Having less of a dead zone, I mean less of a point where it's going to take, you know, your input to be able to move, is a crucial thing, because the lower that is, the faster you're able to react, and Call of Duty is obviously a reactionary FPS game, so having that right there is pretty crucial. On my left stick and right stick max is just at 99, and my left trigger and my right trigger is going to be at a 0. That way there's no delay whenever I press those things in. It just does exactly what I'm trying to do, which is maybe hit a throwing knife on a down player or hit a stim shot, something else like that. It's super crucial to have it as low as possible, or specifically on the left and right trigger at a 0, and your left and right stick as low as you possibly can get it. Next up, we're taking a look here at my aiming sensitivities. I actually play on a 6.6 sensitivity, and I've made a few different TikToks and shorts and stuff talking about sensitivities, and people say that playing on a 6 is actually very low. And I'll tell you guys this right now, that the best players in the world, the pro players that play professional Call of Duty, actually play on a lower sensitivity. Some guys can get away with, you know, that aren't professional players, playing on like a 2020 or something else like that, but generally speaking, a majority of people should be playing on a lower sense. And the way I should tell you guys to fix this is basically to go to private match, take a look at some bots. Once you're in private match and you're able to shoot some bots, when you actually are able to do some flick movements over to them, and if you find yourself going way past them or undershooting, that means either if you're undershooting, you need to bump your sensitivity up, or if you're overshooting, you need to dial it down, because that means, generally speaking, you're going to be overcorrecting, over flicking, or doing the opposite. So that means you need to adjust it either which way. So it's got to make sure that whenever you're doing this and you're able to flick onto people, that it's actually accurate. Having a 2020 is, you know, cool, but like, I want to be able to hit my shots. I think hitting my shots is a lot cooler than being able to spin around doing something super fast and stupid. So I'd rather do that. My ADS sensitivity multiplier is also on a 0.8. So that means that it slows me down even more so when I go to ADS, making it harder for me to come off target. That is super crucial, super beneficial. I'd recommend that this is at like a 1.0 from everybody. You dial this down like maybe like a 0.9, something like that, maybe a 0.85, or in my case, a 0.8. I just say, you know, to dial this down. You don't want it at that 1.0. It's not going to be beneficial for you. So let's keep on going down here. My sensitivity multiplier is just going to be at a 1.0 for everything. Don't need to change this. Don't need to alter this in any capacity. Just leave it right there. Now, vertical aim axis is just going to be here on standard. No reason to mess with that anyways. Tac stance sensitivity multiplier is at a 1.0. And now here's where it gets a little bit fun, as well as your aim response curve type. So basically, I play on a dynamic sensitivity or aim response curve type. Of course, we have the options here of standard, linear, and dynamic. but ideally dynamic is going to have that nice little S curve, so it'll speed you up, you know, when you're really trying to flick around on somebody. But as soon as you start getting close to that target, it's going to ramp down, so it's not going to just be a straight linear thing all the way across. Linear may be a little bit more, I guess, quote unquote, like predictable, but dynamic ideally will help you a lot more than linear will. So I would say that add on dynamic and you should see a difference. This is actually really beneficial. I've been playing on dynamic for a while. I played on linear way back in like the old Rebirth days, but I've been on dynamic basically ever since. So we're going to roll with that. Aim response curve slope is just at a 1.0. We're not going to change that at all. Leave that as is. And then my ADS sensitivity multiplier focus is at a 1.0. Not going to mess with that at all. Just want to keep that at a 1.0. This should be on instantaneous. A custom sensitivity per zoom is off. We do not need that at all. Now we're gonna get on down here. Of course, my target aim assist is gonna be on. My aim assist type is actually on default and not Black Ops. Black Ops used to be the best aim assist type to have, but it realistically just kind of started to fade out a little bit more into the MW3 Warzone sort of, you know, era. A lot of people switch back to Black Ops, or, you know, from Black Ops to default because it was just better. We were playing on Black Ops prior, but they did nerf it a little bit, which realistically didn't matter. It didn't really change much, but now default is definitely the way to go, and that's what makes my aim feel super sticky. And that's how I get tons of accusations in my comments and stuff like that, is people think I'm hacking or cheating because my aim is so sticky. You should take a look at my Facebook. It's pretty brutal. But anyways, we're gonna just leave it at that. Just to try out default. ADS aim assist is gonna be on, of course, and then this is just that third person is gonna be on assist. And now we're gonna go on down, and that's gonna basically be that. Now in the gameplay tab here for this, the controller section, we have our automatic sprint is gonna be on automatic tac sprint. I recommend for you guys to run automatic tac sprint. The only time this is not beneficial is if you're playing like with a shotgun or something like that, and you would rather do your manual sprinting. That way it doesn't kind of try to, like, you know, remove the shotgun from that sort of, you know, hip fire stance. That's the only time it's not as beneficial, but any other time that you are playing the game, I believe automatic tac stance is great. It also helps save your controller a little bit. It saves his life because you're not constantly mashing in that sprint button, and everyone knows that's how you get stick drift, is by mashing in those buttons a lot, putting a lot of wear and tear on them. So the less we can, you know, get that wear and tear, the longer we'll be able to have our controller and not spend money on controllers. Especially if you're like me and you have a nice, you know, scuff controller, which is like 200 bucks. I don't really want to go out and spend a whole bunch more money on more controllers because of stick drift. My slide maintain sprint is going to be on, by the way, and then moving on down here, auto move forward is off. This is going to be on double tap. Grounded mantle, automatic airborne mantle, and automatic ground mantle should all be off. This is what's going to prevent you from mantling onto random objects, just jumping on certain things. If let's say you're trying to do a jump shot, you're jumping and there is a table or something behind you, you know that in Call of Duty your character is going to go randomly grab onto that even when you do not want him to. So do yourself a favor and turn all this stuff off. It is super beneficial to keep it off, not on. Now your slide/dive behavior, they actually just updated this here within season 2, is that now there is this thing called hybrid, which allows you to tap only to slide and then tap while holding sprint input to dive. Personally, I've not tried that out. I found tap to slide still works beautifully for me. But if you're one of those people that gets those weird constant dolphin dives and you only ever want to slide, I mean, put it on slide only, and that way you cannot dolphin dive at all. I find dolphin diving actually kind of useful when I'm trying to, you know, jump off a building and, you know, get a little bit extra distance when I'm trying to go from, you know, building to building on Vondel. I find that to be beneficial, but I haven't really put as much time into testing hybrid here this new season. So that is a new option. You guys can try it. But for me, I'll probably either stick to tap to slide or hybrid when I test it out. But that's really going to be about it. So that's that. Also, my parachute automatic behavior is off. I basically want to get as close to the ground as possible. Yes, I have splatted a couple times. It is what it is. That's just kind of the nature of it. But I much prefer to be able to add that control to pull my own parachute. Just so I can get as close to those crates down there. Let's say I'm dropping in market going on Vondel, and I want to get down there to those initial crates on the helicopter crash because they're more than likely going to spawn a loadout crate. I want to be able to get my loadout gun. Sometimes it doesn't work in my favor though, and I just get, you know, taken out anyways. But point being, I want to get down there as fast as possible. So that's why I have that on there, or just actually in this case off. So my change zoom activation is just going to be that. ADS behavior is on hold, obviously. Sprinting door bash on, you know, mantle, all that sort of fun stuff here. There's not really a whole ton of stuff you guys need to be super cognizant of here. Besides this, your interact/reload behavior, this should be on prioritize interact. If you're going to be playing multiplayer, change it to tap to reload. It won't automatically change, so definitely do that. This is going to help you pick up stuff off the ground in Warzone very fast. That's how you're able to run by something. Just tap square, whatever, and then you will have to hold, let's say square if you're on PlayStation, to be able to reload when there's a whole bunch of loot around you. Sometimes it's a little bit glitchy and it doesn't work as intended, but I much prefer to be able to pick up stuff faster as opposed to being able to just, you know, tap the button and reload when there's a whole bunch of stuff around me. So it's one of those things I can totally live with. It works out perfectly fine and is the best case scenario or best option for me to succeed in Warzone. Your armor plate behavior should be on apply all. No reason this should ever not be on apply all. And then a lot of the stuff down here, this doesn't really matter all that much. It just is what it is. Nothing right down here that you guys need to take real note of. Now, I know this isn't directly a controller setting, but it is still a super crucial setting here for Call of Duty, your field of view. So this should be on 120. If you're playing maybe like ranked or something like that, some of those guys don't play on 120. I think that everybody that has the option to play on 120 should just play on this, you know, field of view. There's no reason not to. Some people say, oh, your aim assist isn't as strong here. You should play on 119 as opposed to 120 because it's lower. Trust me, that's not the case. That's a total fallacy. I even had JGod confirm it. It's not a thing. Like, it's, your aim assist is still unbelievably strong. It's not going to change. Like, if it's strong for me, it's going to be strong for you. Maybe I just have better thumbs. That's really going to be the only difference here. Your ADS field of view should be unaffected. Don't put it on independent. Sorry, they're kind of backed out to the menu. If you put it on independent, if you play on 120, you're going to be backing out to, like, you know, 80 FOV. You're going to be zooming into 80 FOV when you ADS, which is ridiculous, and then zooming all the way out. I think that looks super whack and weird, and it's not very good. So you guys should do this unaffected to make it so that it is synchronized 120 when you ADS. It's still 120. It also can help you out visual recoil wise, making guns look like they have less visual recoil. So try that one out. Your weapon field of view should just be on default. It could be on, you know, narrow, but don't put it on wide. You don't need the gun taking up more of anything else. Third person field of view should be on 90. Your world motion blur and weapon motion blur should be off. No reason to ever have that on. You want to be able to see as much as humanly possible. And the same with your film grain should be at absolutely 0. You do not need any more film grain, anything else like that. And your first person camera movement should also be on 50%. The less our camera can jumble around due to, like, let's say an airstrike or something like that, the better. We want to be able to see what's going on. So the more we can have, the less we can have, actually, in this case, the better. So definitely take note of this stuff. And your inverted flashbang could be on or off. Doesn't matter, whatever's comfortable to you. For me, I just leave it off because it doesn't really matter to me. And lastly, I want to show you guys something here within the interface tab. So we're going to go down here. It's at the very top, and it's going to be color customization. I want to showcase this to you because some people ask how my game is so colorful. So I'm going to show you how to make your game look a little bit better by default. I know I have some color correction that I use in my recording settings, but this should make your game look better. So your HUD color palette can be on default. You guys can change this to whatever you want if you want to, you know, customize this out. But what really matters is down here in the color settings, and this should be on filter 2. Your color filter target should be on both. Your world color intensity and your interface color intensity should both be at 100. This will make your game look more vibrant and less dull, and it will definitely make a difference in how you're able to pick people out, you know, pick targets out and what you're able to see. So definitely recommend this. I've had this on for a while now, and I know a lot of people don't know this. So definitely try these settings out here. They're hugely beneficial. And of course, I feel like I shouldn't have to say too much, but your main map shape should be on square. And also something I do get told or I get questions about is my crosshairs, because I play exclusively with the one center large dot on my screen. It shows my crosshairs here are going to be off. My crosshair dot is on. So basically I have my general crosshairs, like, you know, the little 4 things on your screen. Those are off. I don't have those. My center dot is on. My center dot scale is on largest. So what you can see here next to my face cam is all I have. All I have is a giant dot in the center of my screen. It helps really good for me for centering. I feel really solid about that. I don't even feel like there's a detrimental thing for when I hip fire people, because I'm always ADSing at center mass, or I'm aiming at center mass with that dot. So for me, it works out great, but it is something you guys can totally do or not do. It's not going to make or break your gameplay. For me, it's what I like, but I want to showcase this where our people can find it. So ask me that. That's about all you really need to know realistically on where to be able to, you know, change all these settings. That's all I got for you guys here today. That's how I'm able to drop my high kill gameplays. If you guys enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.